Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Singhadev Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Gaur Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda 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 Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome to our class about the Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta. That's a very one of our topmost books what we read, because it's directly about the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but not only the life, it is all about what is it? What else is it? His message, relationship with whom? With the devotees, yeah. What is it? What else is it? What is contained especially in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta? Huh? How to become mad with love with Krishna, yeah, but in what kind of way? What is very special on the Caitanya-caritāmṛta? What makes it more special, for example, than the Chaitanya Bhagavat? Because Krishna's Kaviraj, he established the principles, the truth about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He established basically that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And not only because he thinks so, no, he uses all conclusive statements from scriptures and shastras. In this way, he makes it understandable that we are speaking about not only a very highly advanced personality highly advanced devotee, he is Sri Krishna Bhagavan himself. And of course that is revolutionary, because even in India, if you ask somebody, if you go around, for example in Jagannath Puri, if you go there, there's a big statue in the center of the town of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing. You saw somebody wearing Jagannath Puri? So it's dancing, right? But if you ask somebody in Jagannath Puri about the residence, they would say, well, it's a great devotee. Or as there was a reportage, I think once some German, I don't know what is a journalist or something, he made a reportage about the Berlin temple. And in this he also interviewed a scholar of Hindu scripture, and he said, der Ekstatiker Mahaprabhu, he's called as ecstatic devotee. Yeah, but that's not what we are kind of our faith is based on. Because consciously I speak here about faith, because most of us, at least myself, I didn't realize that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So still I have to use my faith. But more and more, being in this Hare Krishna movement, who follows basically the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, lived by the devotees in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, more and more I accept this lifestyle, accept the teachings and the philosophical conclusions. I see that it's working. It's working. And this is the greatest proof, because faith you only can have for something what you cannot completely, you're not completely convinced about it. Right? So that's my state. But applying the teachings, applying the philosophy and seeing the outcome is kind of a proof. So there's kind of a scientific process what we all can follow and experience, and more as the water, as the mud settles down, or is better, it's poured out of the glass, right? You have this experiment you can do. There's a clear glass of water, and on the bottom there's mud, so you don't see any. You see, it's clear water, right? But then when you start to pour more water into the glass, what happens? First of all, it overflows, and then when the stream of water, the current, catches the bottom, then first of all it's getting muddy, and in this way confusion can come also in the beginning. But if you keep on pouring water, meaning in our process to keep on using this process, especially chanting Hare Krishna, associating with the devotees, and lots of prasadam, yes, lots of prasadam, you will see the water becomes more and more clear. And so in this way, the more and more we advance in Krishna consciousness, using this philosophy, the more and more our mind becomes clear and our conviction becomes strong. Now, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one very important aspect is of his appearance, one of his, you can say, weapons. You see in the Singadev, he has how many weapons? Here in our form, he has how many weapons? Huh? No, not now. In general. How many hands he displays in our form here in Simhachalam? At the Mula deity, the big deity. Huh? How many hands?
4 hands, 2 weapons.
No, he has 4 hands and 4 weapons. I can say, how is a conch shell a weapon? How is a lotus a weapon? But the lotus is a weapon because with this he attracts his devotees. Very powerful weapon. Attraction. Right, ladies? You're all smiling. They know what I'm speaking of. The boys are, whoa. Huh? And also the conch shell, because the conch shell represents transcendental sound, and this is also a weapon because it destroys ignorance. Very good. Yes, and then of course he has what else he has? Club and chakra. Yes. And but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what weapons did he has? Huh? Beauty, yes, maybe, huh? The holy name, yes. His associates, yes, very good. As associates. And there are how many in general? First of all, the foremost associates, known as Panchatattva. Who are? Yeah, good, okay. So these are his foremost associates, but there are of course more associates around the Panchatattva. And one associate very close to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has a special day today. Who knows who is that? Ramananda Roy. Yes. What happened to him today? Many years ago? Huh? Disappeared. Yes. It's a disappearance day of Sri Ramananda Roy. And Ramananda Roy, of course, it's a very special character, appearing actually only in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta. And what makes him so special is because he was very close to the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He basically, Mahaprabhu, there's let's say 3 big conversations in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta. What are these big conversations in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta with 3 different very close devotees to Mahaprabhu? And yes, we write on in here, Ramananda Roy and Rupa Goswami, yes. So in Ramananda Roy, what is special is that actually in this discussion, who was leading the discussion? Apparently. Yes, so Mahaprabhu gave the lead to Ramananda Roy to actually hold the discourse. Right? And this was in their first meeting at the river of the Godavari. There's it's a holy river in South India. And there they spoke about very confidential matters. First of all, starting with, how one should approach the personality of Godhead and what is the highest approach. And then Ramananda Roy, he started, of course, with one ashram dham, but Mahaprabhu was not satisfied. And then he goes all the way of offering everything what one has and give away to Krishna. Also not so happy about that. And there's some different stages till it came even close to the being a friend of the personality of Godhead, like Arjuna. Mahaprabhu was also not happy with that. And then being the parent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahaprabhu was also not very happy about that. He said, give me more, come on, there's more. And then finally Ramananda Roy, he spoke about the relationship between the gopis and Sri Krishna. And this is the highest supreme truth, and this is actually the mindset and the sentiment Mahaprabhu appeared in this world with the love of the gopis, especially Radharani, Srimati Radharani, because he is the manifestation of Srimati Radharani combined with Mahaprabhu, with Sri Krishna. So and then again he used Ramananda Roy. Of course, then Ramananda Roy, he became a very close associate with Mahaprabhu in the times in Jagannath Puri. And then he used Ramananda Roy again to make a very strong point. Once a devotee, his name was Pradyumna Mishra, he came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and says, please, can you tell me something about Krishna? I want to hear about Krishna and the gopis. And when Mahaprabhu heard this question, he said, you're very fortunate because you come to me to hear about Krishna and the gopis. But actually, I have no idea about Krishna and the gopis. But if you go to Ramananda Roy, then he will tell you about Krishna and the gopis. Because when I want to hear something about Krishna and the gopis, I personally go to Ramananda Roy. So Pradyumna Mishra went to the house of Sriman Ramananda Roy, and there he found only his servant. Servant said, please come in, dear Pradyumna Mishra, take a seat. My master will come soon. So Pradyumna Mishra waited for some while, and still Ramananda Roy didn't come. And then he asked the servant again, what, I'm a guest here, so, did you announce me to your master? That actually, my master has a very important business. He's training for the upcoming festival 2 devatas, 2 dancing girls who are engaged not only for dancing, but for dancing for Lord Jagannath in the festival. He's training them personally. And he's training them in all the art of dancing. Not only this, in all dancing movements, in all expressions of female expressions of ecstasy. When the paramour meets with his lover, when a lady meets with her lover, and all the expressions, all the face expressions, all the bodily expressions, he trains them in. And in order to keep them fit, he personally massages their body with oil and then decorates them with ornaments and even fed them, that they're nicely fed, that they don't become too skinny, but also not too opulent, right? And while doing this, Ramananda Roy is completely unagitated, because he was on such a high platform that he was not in his bodily conception. He didn't think himself, I'm a man and this a woman. No, he saw them, these are devotees of the Lord. They are devotees, and I'm a devotee too. I'm basically training them as I be also a gopi in Vrindavan. So he saw himself as basically also as a woman, and therefore he didn't feel any agitation. It was only for the pleasure of Jagannath that he trained these 2 dancing girls. And then finally he came home and he met Pradyumna Mishra and said, "Oh my dear sir, I'm sorry that I let you wait so long. How can I serve you?" And Pradyumna Mishra said, No, what the lesson I received today was much higher than what I expected. So this is also the 2 main appearance in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta of Ramananda Roy. Of course, so much more could be said about him, but asking on the special day, asking for the blessings of Ramananda Roy, we may now dive into the Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta. And today we still in one other conversation with Sanatana Goswami, and we are where? 44 to 45. Now, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his most furious form as Nrsingadev, will appear right now. Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Sringadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. Look at this new lion backdrop he got on Nrsinga Chadurdasi. We thought we'd try it today. Okay, so now we have here a meter of the Srimad-Bhagavatam, 10th canto, verse 38. No, chapter 38, verse 5. Maivam mama tamasapi. Maivam mama tamasyapi. Syad eva chuta darshanam. Syad eva chuta darshanam. Riyamana kala nadia. Riyamana kala nadia. Kvachittarati kashchana. Kvachittarati kashchana. My mamma tama syapi. Syareva chuta darshanam. Riyamana kala nadia. Kvachittarati kashchana. Please chant. Ladies. Riyamana kala nadia. Kvachittarati kashchana. Ma, not. Evam, thus. Mama, of me. Adamasya, who is the most fallen. Api, although. Syat, there may be. Eva, certainly. Achyuta darshanam, seeing of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Riyamana, being carried. Kalanarya, by the stream of time. Kvachit, sometimes. Tarati, crosses over. Kashchana, someone. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Because I am so fallen, I shall never get a chance to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This was my false apprehension. Rather, by chance, a person as fallen as I am may get to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although one is being carried away by the waves of the river of time. One may eventually reach the shore. So this is a quotation what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does here from the Srimad-Bhagavatam. And of course, everybody who has the book in front of them knows from whom this quotation, who was speaking or was speaking these words. Somebody can say? Akrura, yes, it's by Akrura. And Akrura, of course, we know actually was very close to Sri Krishna in a bodily relationship, but he was also kind of engaged with the opposite side, with King Kamsa. But he saw himself as a tool, and he thought, although I'm so fallen that I am engaged in the service of Kamsa, still Providence sent me to Vrindavan to fetch the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and bring him to Mathura. And in this way, he was able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we continue with text 45. I have to come always back to the Bengali meter again. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Chaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chanda Chaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Thank you, that helped. Kona Bhakya Karo Samsara Kshayon Mukhahaya. Sorry, it's not on the board. Kona Bhakya Karo Samsara Kshayan Mukhahaya Sadhu Sange Tabe Krishna Radhi Upajaya. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: by good fortune, one becomes eligible to cross the ocean of nescience, and when one's term of material existence decreases, one may get an opportunity to associate with pure devotees. By such association, one's attraction to Krishna is awakened. Purport: Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains this point. Is this Bhagya fortune the result of an accident or something else? In the scriptures, devotional service and pious activities are considered fortunate. Pious activities can be divided into three categories. Pious activities that awaken one's dormant Krishna consciousness are called Bhaktya Anmukhi Sukriti. Pious activities that bestow material opulence are called Bhoga Mukhi Sukriti. And pious activities that enable the living entity to merge into the existence of the Supreme are called Mokshan Mukhi Sukriti. These last two awards of pious activity are not actually fortunate. Pious activities are unfortunate when they help one become Krishna conscious. The good fortune of Bhaktya Anmukhi is attainable only when one comes in contact with a devotee. By association with a devotee, willingly or unwillingly, one advances in devotional service, and thus one's dormant Krishna consciousness is awakened. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Agnanati Mandasya Knanan Shalakya Chakshurmidam yena tasmai Shri namaha. Sri Caitanya-manopistam sthavidam yena bhutale svayam rupakadamayam dadati svaparantikam. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here in these two verses, one very special subject or circumstances are considered. What are the circumstances? Yes, but it starts before already. How one comes to Sadhu Sangha? Vishnu Chanananda. How one comes to Sadhu Sangha? You stand up here, so therefore I have to put you on the spot.
By the association with devotees?
Yeah, but how one gets the association of devotees? What's said here in both verses? How one gets the association of... By his activities? Yes, but by his activities even more broader? That's the question? No? I mean, yes, but I want to have something else. What is spoken? Yeah, but how they put this here? By good fortune. By good fortune. So what is good fortune? What do you think when you hear good fortune? What do you think of Vishnu Chanananda? What do you think of good fortune? What is good fortune for you?
Not sure.
Huh?
Not sure about it.
Yes?
I'm not sure about it.
Ah, so. Who thinks of good fortune? When we think of good fortune, what we think of? Mostly, first of all, of? Huh? Yes, I mean, Lakshmi, yeah, but... Luck, yeah. Lakshmi and luck.
Something good has happened in the past.
We know the saying, when good fortune arises, then mostly somehow we feel blessed and uplifted. But for most of us, we feel blessed and uplifted if something good happens to us. And mostly if something good happens to us, that what does it mean to us? Mostly it's associated with happiness. Yeah, and happiness, mostly it's associated with what? Happiness in mostly something what is considered, we have some good fortune, we are uplifted by some material circumstances. Either we receive something, the latest iPhone. I need a new iPhone. Some brahmacharis, they lost the telephone in the festival. Now they're asking if somebody can donate a new iPhone, new telephone or something like that. Huh? But this, of course, is good fortune. If you get one, it's good fortune what you can put in devotional service. But also sometimes good fortune arises if we receive some peace in the mind. Right? Something comes to us what gives us peace. Some circumstances happen what actually calms us down and think, oh, finally this is settled. Finally this problem, somebody dealt with it. And I feel peaceful again. Right? There's something in the mind, there's nothing to do with the body. But here, good fortune is considered a good thing if it's in association with some spiritual upliftment. Something where, what does Akrura says? What is his good fortune? That he meets the Lord. Right? And this is something what is of course very important in the material world. Who carries the Lord? How we get to know about the Lord? How we know that there is a God? By the devotees, yeah. What could be the guru, yeah. So the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, finally is depending on his devotees. If his devotees don't exist and walk around and tell everybody about there is somebody, there's some higher truth, right? God would not exist. We all would be atheists, right? We would all think, well, that's all by chance. It's all by chance. And because most of us had some association with a devotee who came here by chance, completely out of he stumbled in here. Oh, what is this? I'm on holiday in the Bavarian forest, and what strange building is there with a red flag and some colorful tents around, and maybe there's a pizza oven. I'm hungry anyway. And then came here and said, oh, what is this? What actually is this here? Somebody came like this? No? Who came through a book? Oh, still, it's not so much anymore. Who came by Ananda Krishna? Nobody? Or who came by somebody who introduced one, maybe to the books? Yeah, okay, also quite a few. So that's, so we all can say mostly we came here because of somebody introduced us. And in this way, that was our good fortune. Remember once the devotees, they were asking Srila Prabhupada this, sort of the same question. Why did we come here? And Prabhupada said what? Yeah, no, first he said by good fortune. And then he said, but who created my good fortune? Now my good fortune comes in threefold truth. And so they asked, who created our good fortune? And then Prabhupada said, I created your good fortune. And this is, of course, a bold statement because everything what happens according to... Yes, but Krishna is energy of how he regulates everything. How Krishna regulates all the dealings in the material world as a very strong law nobody can overcome. Time. Yes, Krishna is also time, but what? Karma, yes. By karma. So we could say, or this was a little bit the question the devotees wanted to ask, like Prabhupada, like, because there's also the statement, if somebody takes up the devotional service, he has to make already some sukriti. So they say here, anmukhya, how to say it? Bhakti anmukhi sukriti. Pious activities that awakens one dormant Krishna consciousness. This could go over lifetimes. It can happen in one lifetime. But basically, somebody must start the chain reaction, right? In one point of time, somebody pushed it, engaged the soul in devotional service. In one point of time, it started. It's like good fortune happens to everybody. Let's say we have a festival like last week, Simhachalam, and we really were praying for good weather, right? Because that was so helpful for the festival. So Nrsingadev fulfilled our desire. Sun was shining most of the time. It was a little cold, but sun was shining. But the people in Jandelsbrunn, they probably didn't ask Nrsingadev for nice weather. Still, they enjoyed the same sunshine in Jandelsbrunn. So you could say the same good fortune came also to him, to them. But a very, very few of them, some did, like my parents, they came for the festival 2 times even. But a very, very few, most of them didn't use or didn't take the chance to visit on this very occasion, Nrsinga Chaturdasi, the temple of the Lord. So although they had the good fortune, they didn't make the step further to visit the temple of the Lord. So although the good fortune is something what appears in the world as a ray of Vishnu, we can say all the acharyas, they came as good fortune, sent by the Lord into this world, because the Lord knows if I don't send my devotees, and therefore he came himself as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If they don't come, there will be no chance that the people will know about the special process delivered in this age of Kali. Right? That was the complaint of Advaita Acharya. That was the complaint of the devotees in Nadia. There's nobody cares. Nobody cares about the Supreme Personality of God at all His holy name. When they chant the holy name, like Pundarikaksha, they only do this when they complete the pujas. And for what purpose they do the pujas? Yes, exactly, to gain some material benefit, to worship some demigods who helped them in attaining their goal in life, what was mostly material. So nobody cared about the real teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Therefore Advaita Acharya was praying, please come as a ray of Vishnu. Right? And each time these teachings get a little diminished and it getting out of sight, Netflix becomes more important than reading Srila Prabhupada's books. Then the Lord appears to remind us. Right? Therefore then he appeared again. This teaching appeared again in the teachings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in the teachings of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and finally Srila Prabhupada, who brought it all around the world. Now, so many people got these teachings, even get the association of Srila Prabhupada. He spoke with so many professors and so many scientists and religious people. They had direct association with Srila Prabhupada. But they were highly advanced. You see, if you see this conversation, for example, what Srila Prabhupada held with, forgot his name, I think it was a cardinal in France. Somebody knows the name of this cardinal? He was quite a high-ranked member of the Catholic Church in France. And when you hear this conversation, I mean, when I heard it, it was so clear to me, or when you can see it, there's actually a video out there, you see these 2 personalities, 2 highly spiritual, apparently, personalities. And you hear Srila Prabhupada speaking. It's so clear, it's so on the top. Basically, which point somebody remembered? Prabhupada stresses all the time, huh? Yeah, not eating meat. How you can eat meat. And this cardinal, he immediately jumped in which modus? Huh? Well, yeah, he was based in ignorance, but what he did? What? He immediately defended himself, yes. He immediately kind of defend his habit of eating cows, eating flesh. And when you hear him speaking, I don't know if I only had an impression myself, but did anybody else think something strange about this person? Huh? What did you think?
I think he is kind of contradictory to himself. He is, I don't know.
Yeah. Good, but something what to me came immediately at hand. Huh? He is not humble, but why he's not humble? Ignorant, yeah, but I think he had good. Yes, also of course.
I think he doesn't even know like what he's eating or something like that. He's just eating.
Yes, but when I heard him speaking and acting in this way, I thought he had some good sips of this mess wine, or I think this guy is drunk. Like meeting Srila Prabhupada and, kind of, had a little, he was a little, ooh, yes. I mean, have a look at it. I don't know if you come to the same conclusion. But yeah, therefore he's ignorant, therefore he speaks such, and then when you are going, come on. Anyway, he didn't become a devotee. In fact, somebody told me, I don't know if this is true, but this cardinal, he died some years later on top of a prostitute. On top of a chair. On top of a chair. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So this is very unfortunate, and so many people met Srila Prabhupada, but there was a taxi driver in San Francisco. He drove a taxi, and he met Srila Prabhupada, and he said, "This is my master. I give my life," and he gave it completely. He opened a temple, or helped to open a temple, and he maintained this temple by driving taxi. And everybody who got in his taxi, he told about Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. And he also died soon afterwards. He died of cancer. But for him, Srila Prabhupada said, he went back home, back to Godhead. Speaking of whom? Of Chaitanya Prabhu, yes. So, it doesn't really matter who you are. In material sense, this cardinal was like very successful spiritual personality. Many people probably who spiritual seekers went to him and tried to get some knowledge from him. Right? But there was a taxi driver who met Srila Prabhupada, and he understood, that is my master. Good fortune has arisen to me. It changed my life. So many pastimes about Chaitanya, we heard some days ago. He's always 1 or 2 days before Nrsimha Chaturdasi is the disappearance day of Chaitanya Prabhu. And and his life was completely changed. Now this is a very, very important for us that we understand, as we representing Srila Prabhupada, we representing what in the material world? What do we carry with us? What we received and what we carry with us. For example, when we go to Passau for the Community Sankirtan Festival, what do we create in Passau for the people there? Huh? Yes, and in this sense we create like the holy name creates like a temple where they enter in, and in this way we creating what for them? Huh? I need your shelter. Yes, we create good fortune. They don't know what's happening. They like it or don't like it. They maybe get annoyed. Do they get annoyed? Some. But still, it's too late. They heard it already. good fortune ended already, because this is the point. This is the point where good fortune started. And although they're so ignorant, they think, I don't want to hear it because I don't want to surrender. I don't want to look like them. So I put quickly my finger in my ears. When I hear them chant, oh, already too late. It's already too late. When I hear them chanting this Hare Krishna, I immediately put my finger in my ear. But sorry to inform you, your good fortune has started. Your good fortune has started. Maybe in this lifetime, you still meet one very tiny little lady in the streets of Passau. Yes, Narahari. And she gives you what? A book or? Sweet or? Kachoris, yes. Or samosas. You know? And I like you. You are, because you're giving me something what I can immediately enjoy. Right? You give me a samosa, a kachori. I like Indian food. I like it somehow. But when I hear these people chanting Hare Krishna, this Hare Krishna people, I don't like. I think you don't belong to them.
You just said, I don't like the Hare Krishna.
Exactly. He said Hare Krishna, he chanted. And then he happily bites in a big, juicy, tasty, spicy Narahari samosa. And first he thinks, it tastes like nectar, transcendental. Later on he goes a little bit like, right? But, his good fortune changed. I mean, his started developed even further. To this point, he meets then Vedasara on street, or Sanjay Prabhu, or, Thakurji doesn't go so much anymore in Passau, but maybe in Rosenheim. Somebody makes a trip from Passau to Rosenheim, says, probably I will not meet any Hare Krishnas here, because this is Rosenheim. But there Thakur was on the street, and luckily he doesn't look like a Hare Krishna anymore, because hair is growing out of his head. So nobody suspects anything. It's a nice boy with smiling hair and a smiling face and how to say a curly hair. He doesn't seem like nothing bad can expect from him. And then suddenly, from behind his back, he brings a book. Okay, today I surrender, because at least he doesn't look like a Hare Krishna. So he takes this book in Rosenheim. And then one day, some bad good fortune arises, some calamity in the family, maybe some sickness, maybe good fortune arises in the way that somebody says, some doctor says, my dear patient, you only have 7 days to live. Open the Srimad-Bhagavatam. He grabs the Bhagavad Gita, or whatever he has, what he got from Thakurji, and he starts to read it. And he has only 7 days, but even if he read only one page, one paragraph, one word, one shloka, he only read this word in the beginning. Everybody, what the hell is Krishna consciousness? What is Krishna? Who is Krishna? It's maybe something to do with Krishna. I know Krishna, but I don't know Krishna. Or I had in the beginning, what is this? But I thought it must be something. Hare Krishnas gave me this book, so it must be something to do with Krishna, Krishna consciousness. Isn't it? So, he reaches and then he thinks, what is this Krishna consciousness? On his last breath, I still didn't figure out what is Krishna consciousness, Krishna. He goes. Next life, he wakes up coming out of the belly of his mother. And everybody, oh, he's so cute, he's so beautiful, he's so wonderful. Yes, that's maybe, but what the hell is Krishna consciousness? And he goes on a search again, till he finds out. And he understands, it's Krishna consciousness, right? And then again he meets Haridas, who is a little bit older. He doesn't have hair anymore. Not because he shaved himself, but he became old. Can you imagine, Haridas? Huh? He become old, no hair anymore. Seeker went up down here. So, you only shave around here because the rest is gone. So he meets Haridas again, and because this was his life mission, he every weekend he goes out, weekend warriors in Rosenheim still, and distributing books, Haribol, and engages so many young devotees. He is the inspiration of the Rosenheim Yatra. And everybody says, Haridas Thakur, he went out every weekend distributing books. We must follow his example. He's a real weekend warrior. And everybody listens before he gives the class, inspirational talk, what he once heard from Manita Prabhu. Who is Manita? Oh, he's a Prabhupada disciple. I personally heard from Manita Prabhu how he distributed books, disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Everybody's, oh, tell us more stories. And he tells the stories as funny as Manita tells the stories. How he once, somebody approached him on the street with a gun, and Manita Prabhu just put the finger in his gun, and then he gave him a book. These are the stories I grew up with, right? Probably you also know Manita's stories to the max. Yes. You know the story with the gun? Yes. Luckily, we have YouTube, so you can find still Manita stories. So yeah, and then he gets a book again. And in this way, good fortune adds up, and in this way, he comes to Krishna consciousness, or he comes to God consciousness, he comes to some higher spiritual understanding. And of course, this is kind of our sentimental way how we would like that the world functions. We Hare Krishnas, we slowly go into society, and then we give books to everybody, and everybody becomes Krishna conscious. This is in our world, it should happen, right? But as we see, it's not always that straight. Knowing this, there is one very important thing what we always should take in consideration. When we preach, we don't only preach with our books. We don't preach with our prasadam. We don't preach only with our Harinam Sankirtan. Of course, it's a big influence, but most of all, what the people look at. Huh? Oh, the shoes of Mahavishnu Swami, right? Prabhu? Yeah, character, our behavior. If we really behave like, and that doesn't mean that we, kind of become, whatever, walk like this and kind of, or whatever. It's our behavior, it's our personal dealings. And even before we approach them, where they have a chance that they really meet us and interact with us, before they see what? They meet us for the community Sankirtan festival in Passau. Before they approach us, what do they do? The what? Okay, how we are dressed. Okay, but this could be also our behavior with what? how we interact with each other. If we are a living, vibrant community, if we have spirit as a community, right? And this means how we are with each other. Try to uplift each other. Try to be friendly with each other. Serve each other. And this is something where we always have to be aware of. This is the first thing, even before the people approach us. Most of them, they watching us from a distance. Or people coming here for the festival, or sometimes they're coming for darshan. I mean, seriously, we had people who came here who just were on the Fahrradweg, how I say, bicycle track, and then they thought, what is this up there? I always say we should have a sign there. Temple, Vedic temple or Indian temple. Even better would be in the summer times if Tara would be here and she would run a transcendental cafe with lassi and cheesecake. And you make a sign, transcendental cheesecake at a Hare Krishna temple. Who could stop? Who could not stop? We should do that. I mean, so many people come by bicycle, a fresh, when you once taste a hot summer day and you got a ice cold mango lassi. Ooh. You will always come back here for holiday again and come drive to the Hare Krishna temple. And then you had not only mango lassi, you had Akila's ice cream. Hazelnut. It's finished. Did you tell Akila? Tell him so many people will come because today Vedasara will put a sign down there. No, would be something for Kripa Sindhu. He can make nice signs, this wood signs. Anyway, I think we should do it. And we should keep Tara here. She thinks, what? Yeah. So, but when they come, they filled up with mango lassi, eating Akila's hazelnut ice cream and tasting Tara's cheesecake. Can you make cheesecake? Can you make cheesecake? I don't believe you. Probably it's not good cheesecake. Huh? Cookies. No, your cookies probably also good. Oh, they come for cookies. Before they filled up with cookies as well, and then they walk around. And what do they see? If they see what do they think? Huh? Everybody's miserable. But maybe he had a bad day. And then they go to the garden and they are the devotees. Why I entered this EU project? I saw some devotees in the garden, like 3 more days. EU project. I didn't found my partner. Only in the garden I found Gopala, who's always happy. Mai is always happy, even if the sun's not shining. So then they think, okay, cheesecake was good, cookie was good, ice cream was good, lassi was good, but somehow people are not happy. So maybe I don't come again. But if they see smiling, happy people, then they think, I should come here more often. Because what is most contagious? Beside, yes, laughing. Laughing. And therefore people, when they come for festival and they see, like my parents, when they came right for the last week, they were so amazed because everybody is happy. They also smile then. They smile as well. And then they see Mahavishnu Swami and Harinam Ruchi. What? Vishnu. Huh? And Mahavishnu Swami with his, it's like, where does the sound comes from? And then Mahavishnu, yes, electron. I'm not sure if I think I preferred more his his accordion, but maybe it's too heavy, maybe it's I don't know, but I preferred more the sound of this one. Yeah. Oh yeah, we went, can we say this? We went to our, what is the outsource of Simhachalam in Waldkirchen? Tiziano, yes, where you meet the most devotees. When you don't find them in the temple, you find them at Tiziano, right? Did you go with the EU project to Tiziano? Oh, therefore they're not happy. Now they're smiling. So you go to Tiziano. Okay, that's one very famous ice shop. They don't put any egg in the ice cream. They know us already. Even they say if they put some amaretto somewhere in ice cream, so you can't eat this because this is with alcohol. You can eat only this and this and this. Even the waffle is without egg. What? So, and they know us exactly. They look always, the lady always said, du hast so schöne Kinder. Huh? So they like us. And then last time when we were there on Thursday, she said, letztes Wochenende seid ihr gekommen mit Musik und Tanz. Ich bin auch rausgegangen, hab mitgetanzt. So this was Harinam Ruchi and Mahavishnu Swami. You know, who dare in the internet say they are silly, they don't represent Hare Krishna? Some say like that. How you can say this if Mahavishnu Swami comes with a reptile head and sings Hare Krishna? Huh? They are infectious. They're infecting people. So that Tiziano people, they came out of the shop and we are dancing with them. Because they get purified because of association of devotees. So it's very good, it's very pucker, it's bona fide if you go to Tiziano, eat ice cream. Because you make them devotees. Isn't it? Yes. So that's it. Smiling, happy people. And now it's already overtime, so to keep you smiling, I refer to the most beautiful, wonderful breakfast, what we have now. And please give me your blessings that one time I can become a happy child in Krishna consciousness and really can serve you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Itai Go Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Somebody want to throw a tomato at me? You can do now. Yeah. Question? Yeah. You. Okay. Any questions? Something? No. Okay. Kitri. Hari Bol.
Das sind die einzelnen verschiedenen, das sind ja alle zusammen.